How's it going, guys, and welcome to the Farming Diary. So this is a new series that I'm starting because I want a place where I can chat to you guys, because at the moment we are doing a really fun series, the Farming Simulator 22 Survival Roleplay series, and I'm absolutely loving it. But obviously, because it is a roleplay series, I can't talk to you guys about anything that's actually happening in my life, in real life, because I have to stay in character for the roleplay series. So I miss having a place where I can just talk about anything. And I used to kind of do that in the Farming Simulator 19 No Man's Land survival series, which, for those of you who don't know, was a series that ran 100 episodes. And that was actually the last series that I recorded before we moved to Ireland. And again, for those of you who don't know, my wife and I moved from South Africa to Ireland recently, and we'll get into why exactly that happened and how it all happened at some point during this series. But today I just sort of wanted to introduce the series and show you guys the farm and the equipment, and we might start a bit of work on the farm as well, and just sort of lightly touch on how the move is going and how we're settling in and all of that, because there's just so much that I want to talk to you guys about, and I want you guys to get to know me a little bit better. And obviously recently there was a brand change on the channel, so it used to be Redonkulous Dave and it has now changed to just David Marks, and we'll get into why I did that as well. And yeah, I just want to tell you guys how things are going and how we're settling in. So that is why I created the series, and I also want to do things like Q&As with you guys. So that is why we are here, and yeah, I hope you guys enjoy it. So I will say that the farming is going to be sort of on the back burner. I think the conversation is going to be the focus of this series, and the farming is sort of just going to be an afterthought. Obviously, we will talk about what we're doing and what the plans are and that sort of a thing, but it's not going to be the main focus. So on that note, we are obviously on Farming Simulator 22, back on the No Man's Land map, and this map does look very different to the map that we started on in Farming Simulator 19, because obviously that was a heavily modified map with a lot of sell points, and the farmyard and everything looked very different to this. Well, not massively, but quite different to this. This here is a very standard map. There's no like new sell points or anything around the map like I had. All I really changed here is I put a little pad in there, so that's a little spot where we can put equipment down. We will have a quick run through of equipment so that you guys sort of know what's going on in the series. And first things first, in terms of land, again, unlike the Farming Simulator 19 series where we own the entire map, we just own field 26. So we can maybe extend that field out a little bit in the front here, maybe create another field there, although there's a lot of rocks and things. We can maybe do something out the back here. We own a piece of this forest over here, which we can maybe utilize as well, do a bit of forestry, and we own a piece of the pond, which is just nice. Useless, but nice. So, in terms of fields, well, this is the only field we've got at the moment, and it's basically just a bare field with no fertilizer or anything like that. In terms of equipment, we have got a roller over here. With rollers, I'll be honest, I don't know what they do in Farming Simulator 22. I thought they would like roll rocks into the ground, but I tried that and it didn't work. So I think it's got something to do with like grass or something to help the growth of grass. I have no idea. So if you guys, any of you know what rollers actually do in Farming Simulator 22, please let me know in the comments. I'd really appreciate it if you do. We have got a mechanical weeder. We have got a cultivator, which those who are watching the Survivor Roleplay series would know that we've got one over there. So that should be familiar to you. We have got a rock picker. We have got a very nice John Deere sprayer, which actually we own one of those as well in the Roleplay series. Obviously, some of the equipment, there's going to be a little bit of overlap here and there between the two series, but it really doesn't matter because it's not the same thing. It's just there's not that many mods and things available yet for Farming Simulator 22. So we've got our little server shed, we have got our silos. I have no idea if there's anything in there. If there is, then bonus. If there isn't, then it's fine. And there's also a water tower back there. We have got a combi plow over here, which we'll probably use to create some more fields. we have got a beautiful Land Cruiser, or Toyota Land Cruiser, which, I'll be honest, is my favorite pickup in the world. If I could have any pickup, I would want one of those. Unfortunately, I can't have one, because they don't exist in Ireland, which I was very sad to find out about. But anyways, they were very popular in South Africa though, and love them, absolutely love them. We have got a seeder, we have got a spreader, we have got a header for a combine, and the combine that we have is, I think this is a 70s model, 60s or 70s model John Deere 7700. Beautiful piece of equipment. Obviously, all of our equipment is old equipment, because those of you who know me know that I like old equipment. And I don't know why, but I like to make life difficult for myself. So this isn't supposed to be like a survival series or anything. This is just to have fun and have a chat. But for some reason, I'm just making it difficult for myself. But anyway, we have got a 6405 John Deere. We have got our Mercedes MB Track. We have got a trailer. And yeah, that's basically it. So in terms of farming, for today at least, what I want to do is I want to get some fertilizer on this field, and I want to seed it as well. So I think we're going to put canola in here because we are in canola planting season. So that'll be good. I think that's the only thing we can plant right now, except for grass and stuff. So yeah, we're going to do canola today. We don't have seed and we don't have fertilizer, so we're going to run over to the shop and get that. So over at the shop, there is a... I always forget that this is a right-hand drive. But anyway, over at the shop, there's a forklift and there is a telehandler, which is technically the shop's equipment. It is not ours. We are not allowed to use it at all outside of the shop environment. So it's literally just to load equipment, just to have some form of realism in the series. But yeah, so in terms of how our move went, I have to say it went really, really well. It really did. I'm so happy that everything went really smoothly. The traveling and everything went really well. It was extremely stressful, but it worked out great. And in terms of visas and things, I don't need anything because I have an Irish passport. My dad is Irish born, so I have an Irish passport, so I don't need anything. I basically just show up and carry on with my life. It's not quite that simple, but in theory. My wife, however, does not have an Irish passport, so we had to get her visas and everything sorted out so she can work here and live here legally. But all of that went really, really smoothly. We really could not have asked for any better. So we're very grateful for that. We'll get some fertilizer and we'll get a bag of seed. Right. So, yeah, I mean, in terms of that, it has gone really smoothly. We are in a lovely house at the moment that we're renting. We're definitely not in a position to be buying. But, yeah, we're renting a really lovely house. And, yeah, I mean, it's going well. It's really going well. In terms of work and all, it's going really well. We're actually, both of us, Monique and I, are both starting a new position tomorrow. So the day of recording this is Sunday. Tomorrow is obviously Monday. And Monique and I are starting work together. We're working for the same company now. And that position is starting tomorrow. And we're both sort of in the same role working together. So that's really nice because we were obviously self-employed, for those of you who don't know, in South Africa. And we work together every day, and I have to say I miss it. She was working at a different company than what I was for the first couple of months. So we've been here for just about 5 months now. I think actually yesterday was 5 months. But yeah, we're settling in really well, and she was working for a different company, but a opportunity sort of arose at my company for the two of us to work together in quite a nice position. And we just had to take it. So we're very excited for that. And we'll get into things a lot more deeply throughout this series. Because even though the move went really well, everything wasn't like moonshine and roses. And there was definitely some really, really difficult times. And I especially went through a very, very difficult patch. Which luckily I think, I think I'm over it. I think I got through it okay. but there was definitely some difficult times. I do struggle from time to time still with maybe being a little bit homesick and things like that. But overall, I think it's going really, really well, and we're really grateful and we're happy to be here. The weather is a big adjustment. The weather is so bad. We actually had a patch when we just arrived where the weather was really nice. But yeah, it's not South African weather, but it's luckily we're sort of starting to head towards summer now, which I'm really looking forward to. That cannot come soon enough. But it hasn't been too bad. I have to say, we had 2 snow days recently, which was absolutely beautiful. Obviously, that's something that I'm not used to, and it was absolutely amazing to wake up in the morning and everything's white. It's beautiful. Absolutely, absolutely beautiful. I've never woken up and saw everything, trees and houses and grass and roads and cars and everything just be bright white from the snow. It was really, really, really cool to see. So I know a lot of you probably listen to it and go, huh? Because you're used to it, but as a South African, you're not used to it. So yeah, that was pretty cool. I like that quite a bit. But yeah, in terms of the house and everything, we're settling in pretty well, except for the fact that we almost have no furniture at all. And I'm not joking when I say that. We have, basically in my studio, I have my PC, which I know it sounds a bit weird that I have a PC and no furniture, but the one thing that we really put emphasis on when we moved was to try and get my PC here as quickly as possible. So I built a box before we left that it was going to be shipped in, and we know someone that is in the industry that was able to ship it for us very, very cheaply. So I'm really, really thankful for that, because we didn't know if we were going to get jobs or anything. We didn't have jobs before we arrived here. So the one thing was YouTube was making a tiny amount of money, but something is better than nothing, and it still is making a really, really small amount of money, like a really small amount of money, but it's something. And yeah, sort of, it was the one thing as well where I was like, I really need to keep my YouTube going because it makes me happy and I do enjoy it, and there is that small element of an income, but yeah, like I say, it's quite insignificant. I think it basically maybe pays for our electricity bill, and that's about it. But yeah, we just really wanted to get my PC over here so that I can continue on with the YouTube and everything. So we were able to do that in a very, very cost-effective way. So I've basically got my PC. I've got one monitor that I bought on a Cyber Monday deal that was a really good deal, and then I've got another smaller little monitor that I'm borrowing from a friend just so that I can see what's sort of going on with the recordings and all, and make sure that everything's running pretty smoothly. And then I've got a very basic table that I bought from a kids store because for some reason it's really, really difficult to get a desk where we're living. I just can't find a proper desk, so I think I'm gonna end up buying one, but actually buying materials to build a desk. Oh, build one, not buy one. I'm gonna end up building one. But turns out buying the materials that you need to build a desk is just as difficult as actually buying a proper desk. So yeah, I've got a bit of a flimsy desk going, that was pretty cheap. And then we have basically got a bed. So that's all we own, is a little flimsy table, my PC, and a bed. So our house is very, very empty at the moment. We do now actually have 2 single sofas in our living room that friends of ours have loaned us, which is nice because that fills the space a little bit. Trying to figure out what I need to do, probably the John Deere. So we do have that, and they also loaned us a little garden set. So we have that garden set in our kitchen as a dining table. So yeah, furniture is expensive, so we have to sort of take it slow and just be patient, and we'll sort of buy things as it comes. Also, our bedside tables are borrowed. They're not ours either. So we literally just own a bed and a table for my PC basically. So yeah, not perfect, but early days, and it'll get there. We'll get there. It'll just take a little bit of time, but other than that, it's going going pretty well. I mean, we are happy, even though it doesn't sound like it. We are actually really happy here. And things are just, after everything that sort of happened in South Africa and all, it's nice to just not worry about too much. Yeah, not to worry too much about, like, finances and things like that, because that was horrible. And unfortunately, my parents are still in that situation. But again, did I just take... Is that fertilizer? Yeah, it was the fertilizer. I thought for a moment there that I put the seed in this, and I thought, can we seed like that? That would be pretty cool, actually. But yeah, unfortunately, my parents are still in that situation, and I'll sort of get more into depth at some point into what exactly happened in South Africa and why we left and how we left and all of that, and why my parents are still there and what exactly the setup was, because we were in a family business, but then COVID and everything changed all of that. But yeah, we're not going to get into that today, but we'll get more in depth with that at a later stage, and how sort of my wife and I were supposed to, or are forming a bit of a safety net for my parents here in Ireland. But yeah, I mean, things are going pretty well, I have to say. I'm enjoying work. I am a little bit stressed in terms of work and things, because I've been self-employed for most of my life, or involved in like a family business for most of my life. So I'm not really used to working for someone else. I think this is only the third time that I've ever worked for someone else, and the first 2 times was for less than a year at a time. So it is a difficult thing for me, and it's hard for me to sort of adapt. And yeah, but it's good, because I'm learning a lot, and it is actually quite a nice environment and all, and the people are really nice and all. So yeah, it's a pretty good situation, even though, like I say, I'm sort of sometimes a little bit more stressed out than what I need to be, just because I'm out of my comfort zone. But it's not a bad thing. Definitely not a bad thing. And I think this new position is going to be really nice. Looking forward to it. I think it's going to be pretty fun, actually. Right, so the cedar that we've got does actually take fertilizer, but I'm not going to put fertilizer in it this time around, because I just sort of like to manually spread the fertilizer. I don't know why, but yeah, I just do. Anyway, we are in manual gearing though, but manual gearing without the clutch. Actually, in the roleplay series as well, I started the series with manual and clutch, but I changed it recently. I don't know if I actually said anything about it in the series. It's hard to say anything in the series because it's a roleplay series, so you can't really talk about anything that's sort of real life stuff. But I had to change it and put it to manual only without the clutch, because since I got my joystick connected, oh, we want to switch over to canola. There we are. Yeah, since I got my joystick connected, which I didn't have for the first while, I'm having an issue where the clutch in game just doesn't work. So I would press the clutch and try and change gear, and it just says press the clutch to change gear. Then I have to remap it, and then after about 10 minutes it just doesn't work again. So I'm not exactly sure what the deal is with that, but yeah, I'm just not gonna bother. So it's still manual, it's just without the clutch, which is a little bit clunky, but it's not too bad, to be fair. So yeah, but anyway, I don't think we're gonna finish the seeding of this field in this episode, but again, it's not the point. We'll literally just save here, and we'll carry on in the next episode with whatever job we are busy. I'm not in a rush to get anything done. This is not about money, it's not about the farming, it's about us just having a chat, sort of like what I would do in a live stream, I guess. It's just not a live stream, but I am actually working on getting the live streams back up and running. It's all just about time at this point, because I have a full-time job, and obviously you try to balance sort of your job, and then I'm putting out 3 videos a week at this point with YouTube, and I need to find time to record those and edit them and render them and upload, and thumbnails and planning and all of that sort of thing. And then obviously I have a wife, I need to spend time with her, and then I need to go out and like buy groceries and do everyday things that you need to do, and I need to mow the lawn, and I need to wash the car, and there's just a lot going on. And yeah, I'm sort of a little bit overwhelmed and busy, so I don't know where I'm gonna find time to live stream as well, but I really want to start live streaming again. I've done it a little bit on and off throughout the last few years, and I absolutely love it. It's so much fun. It's one of the things that I really do miss if I don't do it. But yeah, so live streaming will be coming back at some point. Obviously, the long-term goal here is to get the channel to a point where I can do content for you guys full-time. That is my goal. I'm never going to hide that. I know a lot of people say, oh, you shouldn't do YouTube with, you know, with the idea of doing it full-time as a career. You should just do it because you love it. And I do. I absolutely love it, because I'll be honest with you guys, I do not do this for the money. I mean, for the last month, my channel has been making €2 a day. €2 a day. So the amount of time and effort that I put into my YouTube channel and the monetary sort of value that I get back out of it is not, you know, it doesn't make sense. So I do not do this for the money, but I would love to do it as a full-time job at some point. And all I really need for that to happen is for the YouTube channel to match my salary. I don't need millions. I don't need to make millions. I don't really care for making millions. As long as I can make my salary, I'll be happy. And I think that you should do what makes you happy. And I mean, again, I'm starting a new position here tomorrow, and I think that is going to make me happy. I think that's going to be a really fun venture, but the long-term goal is probably to do YouTube full-time. When that'll happen, I have no idea. It's probably a long way away, but yeah, we'll see. You never know. Things can happen quickly, but we shall see how all of that turns out. But I think that is probably a good place to end. So again, we'll go in more into details of the move and everything, and what actually happened and all of that, and things like doing YouTube full time. When can I do it, or when do I think I'll be able to do it, and why I want to do it, and sort of my plans for the future. Now being in Ireland and everything, we can actually plan a bit further ahead that we really couldn't do in South Africa. What are our plans? What do we want to do? What do we want to achieve? Where do we want to go with all of this? Because I've actually got a lot of plans. It's not just YouTube. I've got a lot of plans, probably too many plans, but yeah, we'll get into all of that sort of thing. And also, if there's anything that you guys want me to talk about that you would find interesting, let me know in the comments of these videos, or shoot me a comment on any of my social medias. All of the links and everything is in the description below. So wherever, send me an email, whatever. If you have any questions that you want to ask me, I'll do some Q&As, that sort of a thing, where we can run through a couple of questions and things from you guys in a few of these episodes. And yeah, just if there's some sort of a topic of conversation that you would like me to talk about. Obviously, I'm not going to talk about anything like controversial, like religions or anything like that. But just things in general, then let me know, and I'll pick out some of the best ideas, and we'll have a chat about that. But I think we're going to leave it there. So we are very close to finishing this field, so I guess we can probably just do that, and that would be a good place to end the episode. But yeah, that's also another thing in terms of that, is there's going to be very minimal editing on these videos. It's not going to be anything like the roleplay series where there's a lot of editing involved. This is going to be very basic. As you'll see, probably very few cuts in between. There might be some pieces that I cut out and that sort of thing, but probably not. It's just going to be me doing a bit of farming and having a bit of a chat. My diary, basically. Just going to tell you guys how my day went and how my week went and what I want to do and what I'm gonna do and what I was doing and all of that sort of thing. But yeah, that's kind of the plan. Just a very open and honest conversation with you guys, because you guys are amazing. But that is that field done anyway, and I think we're going to leave it there for today. So thanks for watching. I hope you guys like this new series. I know it's something very different, and it's not going to be for everyone. I know this. But if you stuck around until now, then great. I think it's sort of the kind of thing that you'll probably just stick on in the background and sort of listen to, rather than full on watch it, because you won't be missing too much anyways. But yeah, let me know if you got to this point, then thanks very much, and let me know in the comments if you did, and let me know what you guys think of the new series. So yeah, we're gonna leave it there. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to give me that thumbs up, and I'll see you all next time.